Go
Okay, I
ahead,
can't.
Carolyn.
Okay. Hello, put up a picture. You to tell me what to on the picture. Tell me what image.
Two people looking at each other, or a
Me
curved.
what you think.
Silhouettes. Silhouette of two people.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or
You
a vase
sure
or
there's
Or a
something.
nothing else?
candlestick.
Or is one person looking in the mirror? This is silhouettes.
That's good. That's true.
I like that.
Or you have a
This is
candlestick or something, right? Like a shaped, curved
right.
something.
There's a candlestick or a good, good. That's what I want to start with. With a vision, when you're growing a vision, sometimes have an idea of what you want to go through, or what you want to say, or what you maybe your team cannot uh, actually. We're going to find out ways that we can be on the same plane and all help with the vision or be able to see the vision. Okay. Um, in here it says some people see nothing while other people see one or but seeing something doesn't mean you don't always come up with the words to describe it. I can tell you I have a vision for something, but I might not be able to describe what I want. We're having a little technical problem. Just a second. I'm on where we're sharing.
It's just freezing up a little bit every so often, so they're going to fix that for you. Those of you that haven't shown your face yet, we would really appreciate it if you could, because it is nice for Carolyn to have an audience. Thank you so much.
One. What this one is. Your cardboard.
Hit set.
This one's that one. Yeah, she can leave it plugged in, I guess. Why are we on wireless? Where's oh, that's
Are we on? Thank you so much.
Just bear with us, everybody. They'll have this fixed shortly.
did that do it?
It's still saying it's gonna, oh, there we go.
There it goes.
It might work with this one then.
It might.
Yeah, let's just do
I'm
that.
not sure how that got changed.
Sorry. Because that one's for members.
It's PC.
Let me see. Now,
To join you.
back.
Gwen, do you need an invitation to go to that room? Or
Okay. Raw. We
Recording
vision.
started.
I want to make sure everybody's hearing me. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay. We're talking about expressing our vision to be able to get everybody on one plane. And so we're going to try to go through some things to be able to show you how we can grow a vision. Okay. Um, we're going to discuss is a vision. What do you think of vision? Give me an idea of what you believe a vision is. Anybody? I don't see participants. Okay.
Idea. I'm sorry.
No, you're
Okay.
fine. You're fine. A mission statement, your plan for the year or for a specific company or a church.
I like that.
Okay. Anybody else?
A vision is usually an idea or a proposal that you'd like to bring forward that you have planned out in your head, but it may still take more planning, additional planning and participation to make it happen.
I like that. I like that. Okay. I'm going to just add a little more. It's also what is around you, seeing what is around you and perceiving what God wants you to do with it. It's seeing beyond and outside the box. Sometimes we just see it one way and we're scared to move forward to try to find some more ideas or a different way of doing it. It stirs up the emotion. It's a direct action. And it also helps sometimes to lead to some changes. Sometimes a vision is good, but you might have to tweak it just a little bit. Okay. Um, we're going to I want to tell you about an activity we had at our church and how it grew with a vision. In our children's ministry, we were trying to raise more money for our department and to help our department some. And so I always, you know how you have the children to bring an offering and you say, come in and bring an offering. And the children did that for a while. And we thought of ways to make it more exciting so it just wouldn't be a dull thing or they think we were just asking for money. So we had a piece of masking tape, duct tape, and we had it in different colors. And so what we did is we told people to put their offering and let it stick to the duct tape. And they thought, oh man, that is different. And so they like seeing the coin and it didn't fall. They couldn't imagine. It did two things. The children that were there wanted to take part and hold the masking tape. We didn't think about that. We just thought about increasing our offering and getting the children to bring more offering. So after a while, someone brought $1 and put it on the masking tape and it stayed and didn't fall. And on the notice, it started increasing into it went from coins to quarters to $1. And all of a sudden, we had no idea it would increase over duct tape. And all we were trying to do is grow a vision so we can do more for our children. So sometimes it could be something really simple and it will grow really large to get you where you want to go. And our vision also comes from God. It's not our vision because these are God's children. And in order to get things done, we have to consult Him. It's your passion and your belief, but God creates and God trains and equips you. God will use all He has to invest into you to craft for your ministry. God will help create everything for you. Okay. I like to share this equation with you. Inspiration, it says inspiration, information gives you a vision. And you also, that I hold it up so you can see it. Inspiration, information equals a vision. And the more you tell somebody about your vision, the better your idea will be and the clearer, and somebody else might have something else that will add to it, something really simple. And if you're seeking God's will, it also will expand. Sometimes we have such good ideas, we forget. And God is the one that helps make things move forward and not us. Okay, creating a vision. There's also some hindrance to a vision, something that will and make a vision kind of go as fast as you would like it to go. And one of them is tradition. We have always done it this way. And I don't think we need to change it. This is such a good idea. We've always we've always done, we've always our staffs, Christian Bible schools this way. We don't need to change it. Sometimes these are things that will cause a vision imperative. It will help things not to grow like you would want it to grow. The next is fear. The that you can't do, or you get tired, fatigued, short-term thinking. Sometimes we have to revise things. And when you revive a vision, it will grow for you. And sometimes you might ask some other people ways that they would help, ways that they think that the vision could get better, or things that you can do. We wanted to start a community hour, and we wanted to get ready for Vacation Bible School, because when we had the Vacation Bible School, it was only our children coming. And so we wanted to be able to get others to come in the neighborhood. So we decided on Saturday afternoon that we would go in the community and we would have crafts, have a game, and snacks. That's all. And we had children to sign up, and it was two. Next week it was more. At least we had children that came. And after that, we told them, I said, we asked them how did they like the craft hour. And they said, oh, we loved it. We want to introduce this was a way of increasing. So sometimes you have a Vacation Bible School. It sounds like we're having technical problems
Yes,
again.
we're having trouble. Andrew's on his way back to see you. Go ahead, Carolyn, keep
Okay.
talking and we'll see what we
Okay.
can do.
All right. So sometimes, like your Vacation Bible School, you want it to grow and you want to get more than your own children coming. You might have to think outside the box and not be fearful to invite others or to go in the neighborhood. And one way we would ask apartment complex if we can use their community center. And that was a way that we could get new children. So a lot of times we can't be fearful. Have anybody else had a vision of starting something and you had a little trouble getting it off the ground that you did? Can they hear me? Can the participant hear?
We
Yes,
can,
yeah, we
we
can
can.
hear you.
Okay. Now, what are some things that you might have tried to do and you had a hard time getting it off the ground?
I guess it's like a small personal thing. A biggest thing for our church was just to always have like prayer. Like we wanted to have a consistent time of prayer, like an hour of prayer. And in the beginning it was okay, like when people were coming, but then it dwindled, and then it would go away and then come back and then go away and then come back. And so I guess keeping that specific time consistent. So it was hard to get it off the ground. Right now, I'm as a prayer coordinator, I'm trying to just have that time. It's not gonna be as an hour, maybe like 30 minutes, but we have that time open for prayer. And so that was like an idea that I felt we needed, but it's always been going back and forth as far as how consistent it is.
Okay. Let's pretend this was going to happen at your church. What are some of the things you could have did to help him? What are some of the other ideas that we can share that would help him keep going? Or for your own church? Was it for community? I'm asking
So
that.
repeat it one more time. Repeat one more time.
Was it for just the community, or was it for your own church to increase the prayer meeting for the young people?
The prayer session that we had was specifically to pray for the needs of the community and the needs of the church. At the time, we wanted to really pray for because a lot of especially during the COVID pandemic, a lot of stuff been happening. So we just wanted to, I guess, have a time where we can people can all together present all the needs of the community and God to our needs and our community needs to God. So it was basically the community's needs and the church needs that we always pray on. Or desire to pray on that week. Yeah.
Was it the same day every week? The same?
Yes.
Okay.
Same day every week. Every week.
Okay, good. One of the things I would have suggest, maybe it's a different type prayers. Interesting to them, different positions. So what I'm saying, I would have just kind of kept building different things about things that they wouldn't think about. What are some of the things they would pray for and they got an answer for? These are just different ideas. Anybody else have a suggestion of how they would have helped build a vision for this ministry? Okay.
I was just wondering, it's just one person? I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. Is it one person that leads out every time? I'm sorry.
Is it just one person she asked that will be leading out every week?
Yeah, actually, yeah. It's two people. Sometimes I lead out or the pastor will lead out. But yeah, typically just one or two people lead out. But every person prays, but there's one person that leads out the prayer. Yeah.
So I was just wondering, you're trying to reach young people, right? To get them motivated. Maybe you could ask them to lead out different times, let them, they say delegate, give different kids, different responsibility in the prayer meeting and have them lead out. So it's not just you and the pastor doing it. You're still in charge, but they're actually leading out. So they will come with different creative ways of doing it. And if they have more of a say in it, and then they probably will be more motivated. I don't know. Anyone else?
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I feel that
go ahead.
When you depending on the age group, even with any age group for children, if you involve them and different people, if you have like two people leading out for different days of the week, and then if you have like a little song service in between, You can have a couple of people lead out for that also. So you have more people involved regularly. That's how you involve young people. You have to give them something to do. That way they feel motivated to come in and be part of it.
Okay.
Daniel, what was the age group you were trying to reach out to?
For the prayer ministry,
Uh-huh.
the prayer ministry, it was a general, it was generally just for the church in general.
Oh,
But typically the people that would come is either the youth or the youth parents, basically.
if it's for youth, people probably more so your age, I would probably recommend, reaching out to them first, maybe individually or as a group, and just saying, hey, if you want to just pray, with one person with you, if you have any problems, any struggles, whether it's schoolwork, if it's friends, if it's bullying, and you may just want to pray with someone your age, and just let them, telling them that you'll pray with them individually. It may work better because they're going to be, I bet they'll be a little embarrassed or a little shy, I guess. They don't want to express themselves really. But if it's just you guys and just saying, hey, this is just between us, no one else, they may be a little, it may be a little easier for them to start praying with you. And then at that point, once they get more comfortable, then you could probably form a prayer group.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope this was helpful, Daniel. Was this a little help for the vision?
Yeah, this was helpful, very helpful.
Okay. One of the things when we were targeting youth or children, you kind of need to get their ideas first and then see what they're interested in, and then to show them that there's so many different ways and different kinds of things. All prayer walks, you can show them each week different things about prayer, and I think that would help your vision to grow. Okay. Hopefully this was helpful. Anybody else have a comment on a vision that they had started or would or be interested in for growing, try to grow your church? Okay. There's a cure for, like, if you having some problems with visions. It says you want to focus not on the fear, but focus on being more of outreach, more of trying to get God's more like a building block. I have a block that I use for the kids when I'm doing that. This is our right here. This right here is my foundation, and I want to eventually build on it. Can you tell me next week or each week things that I can do to make this grow? And I'll kind of this, and one week focus on that, and then the next week I'll get somebody else's opinion. That way I can get them involved. That's one way of doing a vision, is getting job, and also you enough volunteers to help. Focus on build what you can do to build, trying to make disciples. You want to try to make a mission out of your vision. You want to make disciples. You want to get them to be baptized. You want to teach them. You want to have some goals of where this vision is going to lead. Is my vision going to grow my church, or is my vision going to grow my group? Is my vision going to spread more? Do I want it to be growing from 10 people coming? I'm sorry, growing from 2 people coming to 10 people. Start small and let your and kind of build upon where you want it to go. And then have a goal. Do we want to get baptisms out of this? Are we trying to remember? Like when we did our children's church for the year in October, and we said we want 4 things that we want to accomplish by the end of the year, because we hit the kids with a lot of stuff. We hit them with prayer, we hit them with salvation, we hit them with all kind of different doctrines. So we said, out of the year, we want 4 things that they can come back and say we learned this year. The first time we learned about the different things of prayer. The second, we learned about angels, the job of the angels. The next thing we said, God's creation, some of the things he did in creation. And then the last thing we did is salvation. What are some of the different things that we can do for our salvation to grow for Christ? And with that in mind, it was easy. We did it for 3 months. We talked about maybe salvation, the different things about salvation. Then the next 3 months, we might have talked about angels. So at the end, I look back and say, oh, and that was in children's church, because we said that we felt like we were everywhere. And what could the kids really learn and say that they got out of it that year? And they liked it when we had goals, and they helped us if we told them we were angels for a while. I asked them different questions. What are some of the things you want to know about angels? What are some of the things you've heard about angels? What are some of the things that the angels did in the Bible? And will they still do some things for us today? Things that you can say that you felt the angels did for you that this month, that you had it was an angel that, and they all got involved. They started saying, oh, I didn't know the angels could do that. I only thought it was back in Bible time. And I said, well, do you think your guardian angel have a name? And so it just made it more personal to them about angels. So this is what I'm saying about a vision. Try to keep it building, building, and building. And then at the end of the year, how many kids do you want to see baptized? And then when you see them baptized, how are you going to keep the children, their interest? So this is vision. I don't want to talk, and you might have some questions. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask so far? Okay. Our next thing is creating there's 4 stages of growth. You want to have a vision, that's planting the seed. You want to share your vision. You want not only do you want to have the vision, you want to share it with your children, and you want your children to share it with others. And then you want to recruit some more people that come and work with you. So it's like a plant. When you plant a garden, first is the seed, you water it, and then the seed grows and it grow and grow and it eventually become a tree. So that's what you want to see done with a group, and you want to see in a vision. You want to see growth, you want to recruit, and you want it to be passed on to somebody else also. And not only for them at that moment, you want them to be able to share their vision with others. Okay. And the next thing, you want to do as much reading as you can about things to help you with your children's ministry. or whatever project you're working on. You might want to have a movie night to show something about that particular thing. You might have a game night or something like that. Anything to kind of build upon that vision of getting more children. Is there any, I want to make sure that there's, I'm not going ahead of everybody. Is there any growing the
Quick
vision so far?
Oh, sorry, I have a quick question. When you say see your vision, do you mean like see kind of the plan of it? You see where it's going before you share it, kind of have some kind of a plan in mind?
I have an idea.
More than just an idea, right?
Like, if I have an idea about, like we wanted to do our VBS, we wanted that VBS to grow. We had a time to see what else can we do that we're not doing. What are some of the things that we're not doing that we could do? And that's when we came up with a community craft day. Then we increased it later on to a community story hour. But we were trying to get kids, not only in our church, but from around the neighborhood to increase our VBS. So you see, I had a plan and we were building upon that plan. We were doing certain things. Is that answering your question? What you asked?
Yeah, I guess. I was also wondering if it's when you say see your vision under the 4 stages of growth, if you were just thinking more of the idea, to have an idea of what you want to see, but or also having a plan, kind of see the whole year plan. Your plan, I
Both.
mean, you're seeing the whole vision from the beginning, or as you keep doing, like you said, you keep adding stuff, the vision is not necessarily changing, but maybe it's getting more of a shape.
Well, one vision. Um, we first came up with the idea of having 4 things. We knew that was small enough for us to grab. And so we then we asked, how can we build these things? What are the vehicles that we were going to use? And that's when we named things, and the kids had a say so, and that was seeing it. You had an idea, and they could actually see it grow, and then they can repeat what they learned those 3 months. Each month, they were able to say, "Oh, we did this, we did that," and so forth. So that's seeing your vision. That's having eyes on it and watching it grow. When we were trying to do the vacation Bible school thing, we actually saw the kids told us that what they wanted. When we did the crafts, they wanted more. That's how the story hour came in. So it grows along as God waters you, just like he does a plant. You might have an idea and you might not know all the answers, but he helps you get where you're going. Everybody can see the vision. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Um, Anybody else? I have a wheel. It says the mission, the ministry wheel, vision wheel. And one of the things you can, in doing the wheel, doing this wheel, you can see programs, you can have recruitings, you can have curriculums. When you're building your vision, you got to have a curriculum. You got to know which way you're going. You got to know how to to disciple your group, to be able to keep them interested. You got to have a growth plan. And most of all, you got to have parents involved. And if you can sell the idea to the parents, they will help you bring the children. And it won't be like a babysitting. You have, how are we going to do this and reach people out? Um, Then you'll have a discipleship, and then you'll have some policies how to keep it so it's not going too far, too much, or too overwhelming. So those are some of the things that will help build when you're building your vision. And the last thing I wanted to add was vision and children's leader. Be a servant. Be a servant. Have a humble attitude. Gain respect from your team, and make sure you're listening to your team. Don't let it be just your idea only. Have a time talking it out, and they're sharing with you. Um, communicate, communicate, communicate. I can't overstress that. Um, and train others. Train to do the ministry. If it's children's ministry, if it's adventures, don't let it be like I'm the only one that can do adventures. I'm the only one that can do children's ministry. When I took on children's ministry at our Atlanta, anything I want to do is train. I want somebody to take my job. I don't want to have this the rest of my life. I want it to be something that we can all grow and you can build upon. And they liked that attitude because they knew that I was not trying to be the one that could do it all. I can't be the song leader. I can't be the director. I can't be everything. So we all had to have different things. And I took the people that were very good. I had a little boy. I could not work my computer. I am not good on computers at all. He was about 7. He was about 6 years old. And so whenever we got there, I said, oh, I need a volunteer to help me with my computer. Okay? His mother used to bring him to church, and it seemed like he didn't want to get involved in nothing. And he said, Sister Lamb, can I help you? And I said to myself, oh Lord, there go my computer. He's 6 years old. I don't know. I said, okay, come on. And I was praying at the same time, Lord, help him to be able to work my computer better than me, because I can't work it at all. And so this little boy picked up and started working with me on my computer. And he started coming to our little meetings because I had things written out and on the computer, and he would show them. And after involved in children's ministry, and to this day, he now works in our church doing the media. This little boy up. And I had no idea that I was going to be training somebody to get into media. So when you have a vision, you have no idea where God is going to lead you with it. You just have to have a willing heart and be humble and be open and see where God will go take you.
I have a question. You mentioned getting parents involvement. And I can think of parent involvement to the extent of, like getting their kids to, out to support whatever we're doing. But beyond that, how because, you have to do this, but you can't get them too involved because you have to do this background check, etc. So you can't just ask a parent to come in and help you. You really want their help in terms of getting the kids there. So what recommendations you have for motivating parents to get their kids to Sabbath school, to get their kids to children's church, to get their kids out? Because one thing that I've gotten from parents sometimes when I ask them to get their kids involved is, let me see if they want to do it. Let me ask them if they want to do this, and so that sometimes giving the kids option, a young child choice, I question that, but I'm not a parent. They are. But how do you? What recommendations you have for motivating parents to get their kids?
Okay. In our children's church, I decided once to have a bulletin so that they would know what's going on in the children's church. And I would ask people to, I would tell them what the theme is going to be. And they would tell, and I would say, I need someone to draw this. I cannot draw anything. And so I would take a person that has did really good in drawing, and I would show this to the parent and say, they have such a good talent. I would love for them to do our bulletin, and I would love for you to be able to help them. They have just a little problem with some of the ideas that I want. Maybe you can help them with this. That's one way I get them involved, by showing them something good that their child has done. The next way is, when I'm planning the program, I might need construction paper, and I might need extra scissors. Well, I would ask the parent, we need some scissors for to do something. Would you mind this month being responsible for the scissors? And a lot of times I just ask them, and a lot of times they would volunteer. I would what I wanted from the parent, but I kind of led them into it by either saying, and saying, can you help this child with this part? He's going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about the way an angel might help people. Maybe you can help him with some ideas on how it took planning on my part to really know what I needed to help for. And then I would, as if, would they help the child? I wouldn't ask them. Sometimes I would have asked the child, but I would say it in a way that they wouldn't have to ask the child. I would assume that the child's going to do it anyhow, but I would have talked to the child. So, and I just make it sound as if, oh, this is what they want to do. So they didn't have any reason to ask, I'll see what he want to do. Well, he's going to be the angel this time. We need an angel. We need a Joseph. And I need this costume. Do you think you have a sheet at the house that you can wrap around in and practice being Joseph? It's the thing of, sometimes you can ask people in a way that they can't say no. When I used to do sales, people could say no, no, no. But if I assumed they were going to say yes, 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 they did better than me asking a flat out, what did you do? Because they can always say no. But if I say, we're doing this and that and other, and Johnny needs help being Joseph, that's better. They don't have anything to refuse on, because they think Johnny has already said yes. So that's one technique. Anybody else have any more?
I love that. I love what you said. Identify the talent and go back to the parents, and tell them your child is doing this, X, Y, and then maybe you could even invite them to come with your child to Sabbath school next week and see how they do. You understand?
Right.
I think I love that. Thank you.
I'm telling you, it takes praying, and talking to the Lord. Sometimes I'm in the shower. I think the Lord talks to me the most in the shower. And when I'm driving alone, my granddaughter can tell you, she's sitting here beside me, Ma, there's a light. Are you going to stop? I said, yes, I'm going to stop, because I'm praying and talking to the Lord about this project. And it seems to work. And I have a saying at the church. They would say, don't get near Sister Lamb, because she's going to ask you to do something. So if you don't want to do anything, don't say anything to Sister Lamb. But the kids, if they like you, they're going to say, Mom, there goes Sister Lamb. And I can get to talk to them, or God will tell me. I might be planning on asking somebody else, and he might say, no, ask that person over there. and you'd be surprised at how people came along. One time at 13 Sabbath, I told them we needed um, it was a DVD, but screw machine at that time when they had them, and I said I would like if someone would donate us one. Uh, Thankful, and the kids would be very appreciative of it. Do you know someone did donate it for us? Because sometimes they just want to know that you need it. And if they see that you are busy, active, they will be more willing to do things for you. And if they see their children being involved, sometimes they're more willing. Did that help?
I was just going to say, most people will donate something to you if they know you're going to use it. They probably don't
Right.
want it, but they don't want to throw it away. But if they know somebody needs it, they're going to give it to you.
Absolutely. And that comes in when you're planning, in your vision, all the things that you need, write that down. Which way you want to go, how much it's going to cost, how long will it take to do it, how many months, you know, just get involved in that thing and the Lord will help you to make it even better. And get before the people. That's another thing. Get before the people, not just asking one person, but ask all of the parents. After when we used to finish doing children's story, I would say we're going to have a surprise for the kids at the back, the parents and the children when they meet Sister Lamb in the back. And that way I could get their attention. The ones that were willing to go to work, they would show up. But their kids missing anything, they definitely showed up. So it's all kind of things. God will give you all kind of ways to get connected to your people. Else? How much time do we have? Okay, we have. This is your time that and maybe you have a project that you're working on. Maybe we can all help you with your vision. This is the time to mention it. Is there something that you're trying to work on or build? I also want to let you know that there are some handouts. I have handouts and they're going to look like this on both sides, the handouts. And in your information that that Corbin sent out to you, you will see back there for handouts. You will find one on this particular workshop, and I hope it will add to it. It's like the mission wheel that I talked about, um, of the leader, how to get have vision for your leaders. Talks about what is the vision, where did it come from, seeking God's ministry vision, what's the equation, the 4 steps of growth, and it has a lot of information. So I'm hoping that you will go and pick up your downloads, your sheet to growing a vision. And I hope it will be helpful to you to help you in your ministry for the Lord.
I have a quick question, if
Mhm.
that's okay.
Sure.
Um, how do you balance things out? For example, you have a vision that you want to, let's say through Sabbath school, through children's church and other programs to go in deeper into the Bible, like sanctuary message or other stuff for the kids in the church, for example. I'm not thinking about the outreach, just to disciple the kids, how to share the gospel, right? And how about if the rest of the team or part of the team is pulling back, meaning they are looking for something a bit more easy, not as deep, right? How do you balance things to make sure that you still have a team that you can work together to fill different needs? Does this make sense?
Yes.
Because you want the
Yes.
team on your side, right? You want to be you want to share your
Right.
vision, but if somehow their personal visions are different, they're more on entertainment or things like this, how do you come to that compromise or to to make sure they are all on the same path. That's what I mean.
Okay. That would be in my planning stages. Say, for instance, when we're starting to plan our year out, and first I ask for ideas. What do you want our kids to learn this year? And then you're going to find someone to say more social. We want, we want, we want more game night. And then I might want, like you say, I might want to go into some of the studies of the Bible. We have something in our worship called the characters of the Bible. We look at all the different characters in the Bible, and we read about that person. And that was fun. So when you give them a choice of 3 things and put your idea in there. Okay. So that's 4 things for the year. And they say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. Which order do you want to do it? This the first one, this one the second one. But you want those things done. You want to narrow it down. If you asked for 10 things and you come up with, say, we can't do it all, I'm going to narrow it down to 4 things for the year. What 4 things? We need to have a social. I'm like, okay, that's good. What month? How many socials are we going to have this quarter? Then, okay, I want you to help me get a group over here that will work with you in the socials. And I need you to have a group over here to do the games. Help me to come up with ideas or games. You can get somebody on the team or some people off the team. Just come back with the ideas. And if you want to do the Bible characters, figure out in the Bible, what do you want to learn? Do you want to do the sanctuary this time? Do you want to do creation? Do you want to do health in the Bible? Whatever you do, that's what you're going to work on one of those quarters. When you do it that way, it sounds like, oh, all of us are getting our way. All of us are getting to be able to participate and work it out. And it's not just Carolyn's idea. We all had a turn. So we're going to get behind you. If the first quarter is going to be you doing the social stuff, then we're going to all get behind you on that. Now, when it comes my time for the second quarter doing the biblical things, what part are you going to help me with the biblical? Are you going to learn some of the games that the kids did? Are you going to learn some of the things that Joseph, are we going to study about Joseph? Are we going to study about Nehemiah or whatever? Then you go with it from that and you line it out. And it makes it much easier and everybody will get behind you because you haven't just dominated everything for the whole year. You have worked it out so everybody has a part. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
also share what we do just with programs. Like at the beginning of the year, we have a theme, and then with every month, the leader that is presenting for that month, they can come up with their sub team. So, for example, last year our theme was Standing Together, Jesus, You and Me. But that's not what we presented every month. Whichever leader was presenting that month, if they wanted to differ from that theme, then they came up with a sub-theme and then they did their program accordingly. So everyone got to present whatever they wanted to present under the umbrella of the theme. Now, when Children's Day came along, we went back to the theme, Standing Together, Jesus, You and Me.
Makes sense. That was good. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Can you see how a vision can grow? How you can get everybody on board? Do you see it differently than when we first got started? Not everybody speak at one time.
But it
Oh,
appears,
that was rhetorical. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it appears, sort of a bucket list or something, just throwing out ideas can be the first point. Then someone could pick up on that and say, I really like that. I'd like to get involved in that or to do that. It just starts with the idea or ideas. And then people can, some ideas will may not follow through, but other ideas could really draw someone's curiosity or interest and help someone to move forward, or help several people to move forward.
Right. I think you can keep a list and eventually get a chance to work on everybody's idea, just maybe not now, but we will get to them. It'll give you something to work towards. It sounds like our time is up.
Our next session, well, you have if you want a couple more minutes, you have a couple more minutes, but our next workshop will start at 3:40. And so Carolyn, you probably have about 5 more minutes if you want to take it. Otherwise, it's fine if you don't.
For this workshop we're doing now? Okay. If anybody has anything else that they want to add, I'll be happy to, we can work it, we can talk about it now if it's about growing a vision. I want to
Excuse me.
piggyback on
Okay, that's
go
fine.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I am from the Brazilian church, and our reality is a little bit different sometimes, because cultural stuff. And we have, in Brazil, we celebrate on October 12th, actually the same day of my wife's birthday. It's Children's Day for the whole country. So kids love that, and they get gifts and stuff like that. So one thing that we've been doing lately is, because I work with kids, pathfinders, master guides, and adventurers. So what we do like a big day at the park, and we invite children from, the Brazilian community. It's usually a big thing. We do lots of activities, usually generates a lot of interest on, we bring like pamphlets from different programs that we have for children and for adults as well. Some booklets, from the church, and some pamphlets. It usually works well. And the kids get very interested because, there's a lot of activity, lots of food and drinks, and they have a lot of fun. We do a little hike and we show a few things from nature. They usually like it. We give some prizes as well. So it's something that, maybe the other churches could try to do like one day with, all the areas from the children's ministries working together for one program that could generate something good for the community. And that would bring some parents interested in, like, I'd like to be a part of this. So that's a good way to start it. It works for us.
I like that. That's
Is
different.
there a question?
I like that too.
Quick question. Isn't there a Children's Day that the conference have or something like that?
That's Adventure Family Fun Weekend. If you're
Okay.
an adventurer.
Okay. Well, I like that idea though. I do.
I guess after COVID.
I think if you're doing it outside, you check the COVID numbers, and if you're doing it outside, I don't think it and everyone is still wearing their mask, I think they will still enjoy themselves.
Yeah, that's what we do. We do outside, and we do activities that, are not going to be like risky, and it's not going to, cause any trouble, especially for the church. And also, social distancing. So still, it really works. Kids love it.
And when is this?
We do some time around October 12th, because that's the Children's Day in Brazil. So
where's your
pick
church?
a Sunday. Oh, our church is in Smyrna.
All righty. I'm gonna need to get your address so I can come and visit you guys and have fun with your
Be happy to.
your Children's Day.
Sounds fun. It's a recruiting. The kids, it's like an evangel. It's very nice.
I like that. Thank you, Carolyn. I enjoyed it. Hi, Alexandria.
She said, hi, Alexandra. Thank everybody for participating. I hope this was helpful, and I hope the handouts will be something that you can use and enjoy.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn, very much. And everybody, if you could just stay where you are, your next session will start at 3:40. So unless you're planning on going to join in a different session, if you're planning on doing that, then you can go down to the break room icon at the bottom of your screen and pick the session that you're going to. But if you're planning on staying in this track, then just stay where you are and take a little break, and we'll see you back at 3:40.